It was a battle in the SEC as South Carolina gets the job done at home against Texas. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about my experience at the game and how South Carolina has some of the best fans, if not the best fans in the country. That and a whole lot more. Yes, we will touch on some of the other games as well. So that and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning. Let's go.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right, guys, and we begin with the game of the evening. It was South Carolina versus Texas, a rematch with these teams. They both played earlier this year in Las Vegas during the Thanksgiving break, a game where Texas ultimately got the dub over South Carolina, and South Carolina was at home, and it was like trying to get revenge and trying to let people know that, hey, South Carolina is the best team in the SEC. And this game was fan-freaking-tastic. I talked to y'all before, and I told y'all, I either way, whether South Carolina won or South Carolina lost, I was going to have a good time because I knew that this was going to be a very, very close game. And close, it absolutely was. Close is an understatement. Final score, 68 South Carolina, 65 Texas. And this game was a nail-biter throughout. We did see quite a bit of foul trouble for Texas, and I feel like that really did hurt them, hurt their some of their aggressiveness as the game sort of went on. We did see Jordan Lee end up getting fouled out in the fourth quarter. We also saw Justice Carlson play in foul trouble, as well as Kyla Oldacre as well. And this was a game where Madison Booker kind of got going a little bit early, but kind of cooled off as the game sort of went on. She did finish up with 24 points, but I was thinking that she was going to be like in that 35-ish range. The way she started in this one with her patented mid-range jumpers and getting to the rim, I thought, okay, well, Madison's going to have a good day. And she did have a good day, but not as good of a day as she needed to have in order to win the game. She did play all 40 minutes in today's game. We also saw Rory Harmon do her thing as well. She did struggle in that LSU game, but she was kind of back to her normal mid-range self in the game against South Carolina. Ultimately, she had 16 points and did her thing there. But Texas, they looked sloppy overall. Both teams looked sloppy because Texas was a team that, had quite a bit of opportunities, but they continued to turn over the basketball left and right. And defensively, South Carolina was able to kind of shut them down. And on the reverse, that was the same thing for South Carolina and their offense. This game, we saw a lot of the press. And if you watch Texas play, you're not unfamiliar with the press. This is a team that is a very defensively sound team, and they forced several turnovers for South Carolina in this one. They pressed for the majority of the game. It felt like at least 60 to 70-ish% of the game was a press for Texas, and it was successful at times. We did see Joyce was inbounding the basketball. Joyce Edwards was inbounding the basketball, and then that was an issue because, not that great of passes. Actually, several turnovers was due to, Joyce sort of inbounding the basketball and what happened immediately after that. But we did see Raven Johnson end up inbounding the basketball. One thing that I thought was interesting, what do y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments, but we saw it at least 7 or 8 times where Joyce would be ready to inbound the basketball, and her and Raven Johnson would do a little switcheroo. And I'm not okay, first, when it first started happening, I was like, oh, Joyce must have forgot that she's not inbounding the basketball and Raven's replacing her. But as it kept happening, I was like, is this the designed play? Where it's like Joyce has it initially, and then Raven goes out of bounds, takes it, and then inbounds the basketball. I'm like, was that actually planned? So let me know. I didn't listen to post game presser, so I'm not sure if Dawn addressed that. But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. But for South Carolina, lots of turnovers, lots of press. But ultimately, you do see your starters get the job done. Every single starter for South Carolina does score more than 10 points in the game. We see Joyce Edwards, in my opinion, have a terrible game. Like, free throws helped Joyce Edwards in this game. They did. Her ability to get to the free throw line and make free throws. Okay, she ended up going 8 of 9 from the free throw line. She was atrocious when it came to turnovers. Led everybody basically with turnovers with 6, and her game was not pretty. A lot of the shots not a lot. There's a decent amount of Joyce Edwards shots that just make me be like, what was that? Or it's like a good idea of a shot, but her execution is just terrible, and she doesn't get. And like one thing that I've been sort of surprised about this year is like when like Joyce Edwards does like a series of mistakes, like she doesn't get pulled. She just stays in to sort of work through it, and she did work through it. Ultimately, Joyce Edwards was able to make some critical free throws in the fourth quarter and make some important buckets at different times in this game, and ultimately did help them get the dub in this one. She did have 14 points, 8 rebounds, leading South Carolina in points, rebounds, turnovers, steals, and blocks. So she was everywhere on the stat sheet. We also did see Raven Johnson do her thing. Y'all, there was a lot of scouts here at the game, and Raven Johnson really did show what she can do from a point guard standpoint. She showed that she can be aggressive, and she can score some big time buckets. She showed that she can continue to pass, which we already knew that. That's not a surprising thing. But I thought she gave some really, really good minutes in this one. Again, not a perfect game at all. She shot atrociously. Like, basically everybody was bad in terms of shooting, besides Tessa. Tessa was really good. But I thought Raven did show some good stuff for the scouts that were in attendance. Taniya Latson, 12 points for her. Here's the thing. I really want South Carolina to run actual plays for Taniya Latson. They rarely run any direct plays for her, or at least it seems that way. And I know that there is a lot more that Taniya Latson can do for this team offensively. And there's just a lot of times where she's just sort of like standing in the corner because that's the play. And I just want to see some more design plays for her, because in this game, Taniya Latson really could have had like 20-something points if they would have gone to her a little bit more. Tessa Johnson, super efficient in this one, 45. 4 of 5, I should say, was knocking down that 3-point ball. She ended up starting off the game with a big giant 3, and the fams had the 3. And the fams had the 3 sign. They was waving up, which is fun. But anyway, ultimately the game, it was a 3-point game with about 7 seconds left to go in this one. South Carolina had the basketball, and Texas just let them dribble it out, which I thought was weird. It was 7 seconds. You're only down by 3. Why not just foul and try to make something happen? They didn't. Why? Don't know. Again, I didn't listen to post-game presser, so I'm not sure exactly what Vic Schaefer said, but yeah. Anyway, there's that. This was an awesome game. This was a nail-biter throughout. There was the referees, trash. I'm just saying. There were several times in this game where, like, the referees was calling everything on South Carolina and not reciprocating versus Texas. And then there were other times in this game where I thought it was fair. But overall, in my opinion, the foul calls definitely did skew towards Texas's favor, I would say, in this one. But again, refs are refs. You can't control them. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. All right. Next up, I do want to talk about my experience at the CLA. Guys, Colonial Life Arena was jumping. It was jumping from the get-go. There was 17,000 fans in attendance. And I tell you, like, this is my, like, video of, like, I think this was the intros. But this game, including the Sandstorm when they, like, throwing the white flag up, it was so cool. It was so cool to see the crowd do their thing, y'all. It was loud, especially like throughout various moments of the game. It got so loud in the arena, and it's one of those things where I don't know if I can describe it and give it justice. Because here's the thing: for years and years, I have watched South Carolina play at home on TV. And it sounded loud on TV. But here's the thing. Whenever I hear like noise, crowd noise, it's always a little bit of a guessing game on like how loud it really is, because, you know, you can boost up the volume and all that stuff for the cameras. But I did not expect that building to be as loud as it was during the game. Like, I was just like, it sounded like a football, like an NFL football, how like loud it was and how concentrated that sound was. It's louder than any arena I've ever been to, any basketball arena I've ever been to. The game last week. It was louder than the Bulls. Here's the thing, I go to Bulls games all the time. I've never gone to a Bulls playoff game, but Bulls regular season games is nowhere near as loud as the CLA was yesterday. And so I just gotta say, shout out to everybody involved. I talked to a lot of people yesterday, and like Dawn Staley does seem to be the linchpin for everybody. And so, you know, she really did create something very, very special. Like, this is the Sandstorm right here. She created something very, very special. The fans, they showed up and showed out, and they were loud and intense. And they're the reason why South Carolina, hands down, in my opinion, they're the reason. They are the reasons. The CLA was rocking and rolling. And truly, guys, that's what women's basketball is all about. Here's the thing. If we can bottle up what the CLA has and disperse it to the WNBA, that would be huge. That'd be huge. 'Cause here's the thing. I want to go to the Las Vegas Aces game because they do have a very lively crowd. But I would love to compare. I would love to compare the CLA with the WNBA, with WNBA games. Like I would love to do that, because I don't know what's louder than the CLA. And I've heard that when you watch LSU home games, especially like the big ones, you do hear the crowd get really into it as well. And so I want to see whether or not the PMAC is going to be just as loud. It probably is going to be just as loud. But if you haven't gone to a South Carolina game, go to a South Carolina game. You are in for a absolute treat. The experience, guys, was flat out amazing. And this is exactly why I love going to games in person. This is why I was so excited to go to this game, because there is just a different feel that you have when you're experiencing a home crowd. It's just so loud, so fun, and this is why going to games is an awesome thing. And speaking of going to games, I want to talk about my friends over at Game Time, because if you want to get some awesome tickets, Game Time is the people to go to. Again, today's game was fantastic, and the only reason I was able to go is because I had tickets. And where do you get tickets that are super affordable to go to the games that you are most interested in, well, Game Time. Because, sometimes getting tickets can be frustrating, especially if you're trying to get at a specific price point. And Game Time, they're all good to go for you because the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans, which that's what it's all about, the fans. It is the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust that you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. At the game yesterday, there were some scalpers selling tickets, and I was like, how do I know that that's not fake? How do I know that you're not selling fake tickets? Well, with the Game Time app, you don't have to worry about it. It is 100% real tickets that you are buying. Plus, fees are always included. So you'll be able to see exactly what you pay. I hate sometimes when I go to purchase tickets for something and you're like, okay, this is the price. And then you go to the checkout and then it's like $20 to $40 more because they've added fee after fee after fee after fee. Well, that's not something you have to worry about when it comes to the Game Time app. What you see is what you are paying, right? And that's really awesome. So make sure to use Game Time whenever you are interested in buying tickets for a concert or a sporting event. Specifically, use Game Time for women's basketball. That'd be great. Anyway, you can take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Quita for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code QUITA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. All right, let's continue on. Y'all, I met the awesome people of the internet in real life. I got to the game, and y'all saw it if y'all watched my live. Basically immediately, I met awesome people of the internet, IRL, and it was so fun. So fun. I feel like I met like 50 people. It was a lot of people. Before the game, during the game, definitely after the game. And it was really, really cool to experience. So to everybody who I met yesterday at the game, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thanks for spotting me out and saying something to me. I really appreciate it. I tell you, women's basketball fandom is real, and it's so amazing to experience. It really is. We have some of the best fans that are just rocking out, and they just love women's basketball, right? And I talked to several people, and it seemed like the through line for a lot of people is Dawn Staley. There are people who followed her career when she was in college, when she went to the WNBA, when she ended up being the head coach of Temple. Like, there's been people who have followed her career, and they're like, I'm a season ticket holder for multiple years because of her. There's one lady who literally said she ended up moving to Columbia to be able to just attend all the home games. And I'm just like, man, like, there's just power. There's in the women's basketball fandom. And, pick a team, any team. Like, I'm sure when I go to LSU, it's going to be like a similar thing where, like, people they're just so passionate. They care about their team, and they want to support women's basketball. Again, 17,000 fans were at the game yesterday for a women's basketball game. And we asked the sit at a hotel nearby and asked the front desk person, like, hey, is the men's games this intense? And she's like, nah, it's the women's games that everybody's down for. And so to the awesome people of the internet I met in real life, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being amazing, and for chatting with me. And it was just a fun time. So shout out to y'all. I tell you, awesome people of the internet We're awesome on the internet, and we're awesome in real life. We have to figure out some way to do like an official awesome person of the internet hangout or something. I don't know. I think that'd be really fun. I think it'd be really, really fun for everybody to be able to connect with each other in real life because we're great human beings. We really, really are. And then also here, let me show the things I got at the game. All right, here we go. So here's what I got. I got this, which I don't think is making it on the plane because I'm pretty sure it's going to be extremely bent. So I got the 3, which is what they were given as we came in. I also got a rally towel that says the slogan for the year, which is Beyond Measure. I got a hat. They had a table of just hats, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, everybody was just going up and grabbing a hat, and I was like, okay, all right, well, I'm going to grab a hat, too. It seemed like it was free. It says Beyond Measure. It's kind of cool. Cool looking hat. And then I got this, which I'm going to start collecting these and then hanging them up in my background. As I get more of them, so every time I go to a home arena of some women's basketball team, I'm gonna get one of those. And also they did a Chick-fil-A drop, and I caught one of the parachutes with the cow. I'm not sure what the purpose was. Was it just to get this little thing? I don't know. But that was cool. Normally, I don't get any of those like drop things. Like when they drop stuff from the ceiling, normally I'm never catching whatever it is that they're dropping. So that was kind of cool to be able to get that. But anyway, overall, this was a fantastic experience. Like, guys, I am in South Carolina for less than 24 hours. Like I got in 2 p.m. on Thursday. Then went straight to the arena, then made some videos, then came back, and then went to the game. And I am leaving on Friday at 8 a.m. I think is when my flight is, and so that's why that's why this is pre-recorded, because I had to record early, way early, because I am literally going to be in the air by the time the show actually premieres. And so thank y'all so much for y'all support. This has been fun. We gonna do it again. And speaking of doing it again, y'all, next up, LSU. I will be at the LSU South Carolina game in February. And personally, guys, I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be just as fun. Like, I had such a fantastic experience in South Carolina, and I can't wait to experience that at LSU. Y'all can see I'm wearing a South Carolina shirt. I want to say I was like pressured to wear it because supposedly my section was garnet, and so I was like, oh. And at first I was like, no, I don't care. I'm not wearing anything. But I ended up doing a live stream where I ended up walking into a store and there were only two South Carolina related women's basketball shirts, and I was like, okay, let me just get it. So I ended up getting this shirt for the 2023-2024 season. I will say, for that merch store near the arena, there needs to be more women's basketball merch. Like, I think that's crazy. Like, there was 2 things, and they were both of the 2023-2024 season, which we're in the 2025-2026 season. So, like, there should have been some more stuff, in my opinion, right? But there was stuff in the arena itself. They did have a store in the arena. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna so y'all can expect whenever I go to LSU. I guess I'm gonna have to wear an LSU shirt to the when I get there. I'm gonna have to buy some LSU shirt so I can wear it at the game, because maybe that's gonna be a thing when I go to a home game. whether it's WNBA or whatever, I'll wear that shirt to the game itself. Yeah, that's going to be a new tradition. Making it up right now. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's wrap this up by taking a look at other games that happened. Because it wasn't just all about South Carolina, even though that was the game that I went to and I actually watched. So we're going to talk about some of the scores of the other games, but I can't go into detail because I didn't watch those games because it was just the South Carolina game that I was able to actually watch because, yeah, I was in person. All right, so we did see Iowa take down Oregon in Iowa, 74, Iowa 66 for Oregon. We do see Addie Deal do her thing in this game. This seems like a breakout type of game. 18 points, that's a career high on 7 of 9 shooting, making all of her 3-point buckets to make some stuff happen. Hannah Stokey also had 18 points in that game as, again, Iowa took down Oregon. We also saw Maryland take down USC. 62-55. Seems like Yarden Garzone helped to seal the game for Maryland. We do have an upset that happened yesterday, and it happened in the SEC as Alabama lost to Auburn. Now, when I saw that come through, I was like, whoa. Auburn took down Alabama. I gotta go back and watch that. So probably on the plane back, I'll end up watching it or something. But that's fantastic. Wow. But again, it's conference play. So even though teams shouldn't lose, or quote unquote shouldn't lose, anybody and everybody can get got. Shout out to Auburn for getting the job done. Next up, we did have UConn, who destroyed Villanova. I mean, anybody can get got besides really UConn in conference play because they're competition. But anyway, it was 99-50. Nothing to write home about. It's just another UConn conference win. Yeah. But back to close games. We saw Vandy barely take down Mississippi State. Now I was like, whoa, this is a closer game than I expected. Again, I got to go back and actually watch it. But hey, Vandy ended up getting the dub. 5-point win for Vanderbilt. Michaela Blake's, she's just flat out fantastic. Goes 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Ultimately ends up with 38 points. And also, you can't say that Michaela Blake's only shoots. That girl she be passing that basketball as well. She did have 7 assists in yesterday's game for Vandy. And so, dog. Michaela Blake's Player of the Year watch for sure. For sure. We also saw Kentucky take down Florida. That was a very, very close nail-biter of a game as well. Final score of that one was 94-86, or 89, I should say. We also did see some Big Ten action as well, as Michigan took down Illinois quite handedly. Final score of that game was 85, Michigan to 69 for Illinois. We did see Louisville take down Notre Dame, 79-66. Not a surprise at all. I mean, Louisville is the significantly better team, and they did ultimately get the job done. And it was a close-ish game, and so that's something to note as well. And one of the closest of games yesterday was Michigan State, again, barely taking down Nebraska 73-71 in this one. And hey, Grace Van Sluten, she did her thing, 22 points for the Spartans. So that's your look at the games that were on Thursday. And I do want to thank y'all so much for watching the show. Sorry for not being able to be live for it, but I hope you all enjoyed the show. Just again, shout out to the state of South Carolina. Shout out to all the awesome people, the kind people of Columbia, South Carolina. I can't wait to do this again. I need to figure out a way to get like a deal or something where I'm able to travel to basically all the hotspot teams in women's college basketball. Maybe that'll be a goal for next year, is to get someone to like pay for all that. That'd be fun to do a tour of like the big games for like all the big teams like UConn, South Carolina, LSU, Vandy, Michigan, UCLA, USC. Like, you get the picture. Sort of down the rabbit hole there of going to all the top fandom teams. I think that'd be really fun, and go to like one of the biggest games of that team and just document the fan experience. I think that'd be really fun. So hopefully somebody ends up sponsoring that and making that happen. I think that could be awesome. Would y'all watch that? A series on the art of fandom, the art of women's basketball fandom. I think that'd be fun. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita in the morning is happening every morning. Most of the time live, but sometimes pre-recorded. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.